The Toby Gribben Show Podcast.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Toby Gribben Show Podcast. Don't forget you can listen to the full show live at shoutradio.org.uk and all of the clips right here on the podcast. Anyway, enjoy the interview.
Meet our urgent care team at the new VHI 360 Health Centre Carrickmines. Doctors, nurses, radiographers and specialists who work together to treat your minor illnesses and injuries. Visit vhi.ie. VHI Healthcare Act, trading as VHI Healthcare, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Rio Maitland is the host of his podcast, What's Next with Rio, and he's here just now. How are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Yep, I'm doing great as well. So, the What's Next with Rio podcast, what do you like to get up to in the podcast? What kind of thing do you do?
So I just sit down with all types of guests, whether it's athletes, entrepreneurs, musicians, we sit down and, we have a conversation and we talk about what's going on in their life and what they have coming up next in their life. So it's a very fun experience and a good opportunity to promote up and coming, individuals. And, it's been a great experience for me so far.
Yeah. And what is it you enjoy most about interviewing people?
Yeah. I believe that everybody has their own, specific story. You have a story, I have a story. We all come from different backgrounds, and it's just fun, to interview people, to see where they're coming from, and I get to apply it to my own life. I get to see where their strengths or their weaknesses, in their specific stories. And just use their lessons and apply it to my own life. So it's really cool. It's a really cool experience for me.
And are there any favorite guests that you've had so far?
Oh man, yeah. It's really awesome because every guest, like I said, has their own specific story. And I would say my favorite guest so far, I would have to go with the one that's really moved me, the most. I sat down and talked with Mitchell Riley. He's a upcoming, promising basketball player here in the United States. He's committed to play at the Division I next year. And a few years back, his parents passed away. And for his signing day this year, he wanted to pay tribute to his mother who passed away. And so he signed on her birthday. So I thought that was a really cool story for me. So I thought that was one of my favorite guests. There's a lot of guests that really interests me also. So I'll go with that one.
Yeah, because there are so many people that have so much inspirational stories, and sometimes you don't realise how inspirational a guest is going to be before you interview them. Right,
definitely.
And I liked the interview that you did with yourself.
Yes, yeah, that was very fun. I just came up with the idea, just kind of brainstormed and went with it. Why not interview myself? It's a great way to, sell my story, and kind of just go with that. But it was a great experience, a great opportunity for me to, let everybody know what I'm about, let everybody know what the host is about, let everybody know where I'm coming from and what I want to do and why I want to make this podcast.
Yeah. And how did that work technically? Was it a technical nightmare to talk to yourself, or did you find a way to make it work?
At first it was a little challenging, coming up with the idea, but once we had the idea, we kind of just went with it. Once we had the idea, it was just the little things like, I would say you have to be a really good actor, just taking different takes and stuff like that. But it was a very fun process in the long run. But I would say the most challenging part about it is probably just the editing and stuff like that. But luckily, I was being aided by, a friend of mine who edits his videos as well. So, obviously it wasn't just me who was, doing all the work. So it definitely helps when you have somebody who's, giving you aid.
Yeah. And in terms of a normal podcast episode, do you have somebody else that helps with editing?
No, I pretty much do everything myself. But that doesn't mean I want to take all the credit. There's definitely people in my circle that's helping me throughout this whole process. People that are help me find guests and stuff like that. There's definitely a team part of this What's Next with Rio podcast. But as far as editing and marketing and publishing everything, I'm doing that right now by myself. But it's not just me. There's definitely people behind the scenes.
Yeah. So what is your story? How did you end up making this podcast?
Yeah. So I always grew up, I was always a podcast fan. Maybe it's just me because, I'm a person that, I like to, Google stuff, search stuff, ask questions. I'm very curious. I have a very, very strong curiosity. But I would say the podcast came into mind. I always wanted to make podcasts. It was just about the timing. It was about whether I wanted to do it now or a few years from now. And I thought it was perfect timing because I decided to take a podcast class while I was at the University of Kentucky. So that gave me kind of the blueprint on how to do things in terms of editing. Recording my podcast and trying to make it the best quality podcast that I can. So I would definitely say, once I took that class, I kind of went with it, test the waters a little bit, and it's been a great process so far. So
yeah, that's kind of cool that they're doing podcast classes at universities now.
Yeah. It's crazy because you got so many different classes, and there's classes for all types of things. I took a film class as well. That definitely helped me in my terminologies and stuff like that, and just getting an idea of what I want to do. So
meet our urgent care team at the new VHI 360 Health Centre Carrickmines. Doctors, nurses, radiographers and specialists who work together to treat your minor illnesses and injuries. Visit vhi.ie. VHI Healthcare DAC, trading as VHI Healthcare, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
The Lotto jackpot's been won. Again. Already. That's 3 times in just 3 months. The National Lottery. It could be you. Play responsibly. Play for fun.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of classes, at universities these days.
Yeah, and podcasts seem to be the future. I think there's some sort of statistic where there's billions of YouTube channels and a fraction of that amount is the amount of podcasts, but it's rising.
Yeah, man. I mean, I kind of thought it had a lot to do with COVID, and quarantine, and we kind of saw, podcasts take off from there, but, it's rising. I hope it continues to do so.
Yeah. Did you start this podcast during COVID then?
No, I started this podcast last fall. I did not start it during COVID, but, I watched a lot of podcasts during COVID, so, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that COVID definitely has some credit in it.
Yeah, and I guess the thing is, since COVID, it's maybe been easier to find guests because I guess during lockdowns and things, people have got nothing better to do, so they might as well say yes to an interview. And also,
that's a good point.
They have realised that Zoom exists and there are ways to do interviews without having to meet up. So you can interview somebody from China or whatever.
Yeah, it definitely provides an opportunity. Everybody's more free, more available, to set up an interview. But yeah, that's something that COVID-19 has brought to the world. That's good. So
yeah. If somebody declines an interview with you during COVID, that they really don't want to do the interview.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what's coming up for the podcast? Have you got any guests planned or people that you're thinking of asking on?
Yeah, man, I've got a whole list. Me and my team, we're out. We're recruiting. I got multiple people that's out. Recruiting people and asking them if they wanted to come on the podcast. Obviously, we just don't go for random people. We go for a specific type of people, but we have a whole list, a long list that we want to get. I would definitely say if I had, I'll tell you this. I don't want to spoil anything for any fans or anything like that. We do have some big names coming up to finish out this season. But for my season finale, we will be joined by my brother, who's a professional basketball player in Madrid, Spain. Wow. But so it's gonna be good. Lots of great content coming to everybody. But I would say just keep your eyes open. Guests are coming, left and right, athletes, entrepreneurs, all types of guests. Everybody has a story, so just like be prepared, and we're gonna get it to you guys.
Yeah. And who do you look for in your ideal guest? Is it a celebrity, or can it be anyone really that has a good story to tell?
Yeah, to be honest, it can be anyone. Once you have a great story, I kind of just go with it.
Yeah.
Celebrities help because that my viewers want to see that. It always is intriguing to see celebrities story. I think podcast kind of does a good job of displaying people in a different way than other newscasts does, or whether it's a regular interview you see on the news. A podcast interview is a lot more in depth and more detailed, and you get to see the true personality of the individual. But I would just say we're just gonna we can have pretty much anyone on. Once they have a remarkable story to tell, we kind of go with it. But like I said, we have a list that we want to go after, and if there's anybody who's we think should be on that list, we kind of just add it and just go with it.
Yeah, and that's so true actually for podcasts, because on the TV you don't really have enough time to get to know somebody, and also the type of guests they have on TV and radio have to probably fall into a category. You can't just have somebody on because you want them on.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed, from watching podcasts. I honestly, I don't even really watch the interviews on, TV. I just watch the interviews on podcasts. You get better questions, and the guest tends to, go into more detail and, reveal things that, you might never know. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where are we able to find your podcast if we'd like to listen and watch as well, of course?
Yeah, so if you want to listen or watch, our podcast is streaming on all platforms. We are available on Spotify. We are available on Apple Podcasts as well. We are also available on YouTube channel if you want to watch the video. Lots of great content there. And, you can also follow our Instagram pages and Twitter pages and also TikTok. So we're out there. Just got to search.
Yeah, great. Well, many thanks for coming on today. It's been great having you on the air.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Meet our urgent care team at the new VHI 360 Health Centre Carrickmines. Doctors, nurses, radiographers and specialists who work together to treat your minor illnesses and injuries. Visit vhi.ie. VHI Healthcare DAC, trading as VHI Healthcare, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.